Oh, the heathen of today. It's worse sometimes than the Jehovah's Witnesses, although they're kind of heathen also. There's a crystal that will do this. There's this particular crystal, this size and shape of crystal, this position of the crystal, this way of imagining the crystal, talking to the crystal, but with the magnetic field in a certain manner, and then the copper metal wrapped and wound about, and the structure arranged in a certain fashion and forming a pyramid or a cone or a box or something, and it changes all the time as the latest discovery is made. And every week you go to the meeting and some new theory is put forward and people begin to share it. That's how the truth movement was organized. And after a while you realize that the new ideas they're just going to keep coming and then returning upon themselves. It's what do they call those places where everybody's talking about the same thing? An echo chamber. But they evangelize tremendously, and they have no understanding of the things of which they speak. They're just vain imaginings in point of fact. Because if you open the Word of God and let them know that at the foot of the cross only there is release, there is none other place, then they will scoff. They're not going to believe that. Each to his own. They would never dare investigate it. But I am invited to investigate this and investigate that and investigate the other. Yet the minute a Bible appears in my hand, everybody scurries away. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. It's only logic. People need to get over themselves thinking that they're going to be cured by these various practices. And the same could be said, I think, also of the carnivore diet, which I'm currently following. I'm as much, I've been drawn in by some of these things over the years, and perhaps some of them are beneficial. I have a different view of carnivore. I would say that not the carnivore diet in that one eats only meat, but a carnivore-based diet, I think, is biblical. I started looking into this carefully, and so to me that doesn't fall into the same category entirely. The obsessive carnivore diet probably does. I'm not completely convinced of that, but some people seem to thrive on it. I mean, I'm not thriving on the carnivore diet that I'm following at the moment, so there's that. But they're worse than the Jehovah's Witnesses when they get going. And then they disagree among themselves, you see, unless somebody has the latest thing that's been known and been understood, the very latest thing. The next one that will arrive will be the use of tallow as a massage oil and as a healing oil. This has been part of the carnivore revelation. They're a curious lot, and of course they, money changes hands as these things are promoted and practiced. One place I used to go quite regularly was to a stone circle not far from here. 40 miles or so, and it used to be sort of quite a wild, desolate place. And there's a circle of stones and a nice piece of countryside, and you can walk around quite a long path. And it was a tranquil and beautiful place. But of course, these things now have become popularized, so you'll get all sorts of people hanging out there and trying to plug into the energy which apparently flows through these places. You've only got to start talking to some of these people about Stonehenge, which they see as a portal of power. I suspect Stonehenge is recent architecture. I don't believe it's archaic at all. I just don't believe those things. But they have their dowsing rods. You see, they can feel them. Dowsing works. Water companies douse for water, so there's something to it. But then, really, there's an esoteric veil when you start following a winding path, I suppose, and claiming that it's a lay, so not essentially related to a watercourse, but some invisible line of energy flowing through the land. To know where it is, I suppose you have to have powers, and so you become thus practicing one of the priests of Baal, if you think about it. And the priests of Baal are under a sentence of death in the law. This is why it's a serious thing that the heathen, the New Age heathen, are involved in. It's not a light matter. I don't think so, anyway. God bless.